I'm here
everyone.
under threat of
Today
arrest
we've
and
got Judge
coercion.
Perkins
You're not
facing
even
off
listening.
against
You're
yet
not even
another
gonna listen.
sovereign
I listen to
citizen who
what you
somehow
said. Are you
believes
gonna
he's
listen to
above the
me?
law.
Well, go
Like
ahead.
these people really
Are you
think
giving
they've
me
discovered
permission to
some
go
kind of
ahead now,
secret
too,
cheat
right?
code to
I
dodge the
am here
justice
under threat,
system.
duress,
And
and
honestly, what's
coercion to
wild is that
demand
this
that
Not
this
guy
you under
actually
court
threat,
sounds
duress,
fairly
or
prove some
intelligent when he
kind of
coercion.
speaks. So
jurisdiction,
I
and
genuinely
until
don't know how he
jurisdiction has.
got pulled into this sovereign citizen nonsense. Like, do they just wake up one morning and decide they're going to argue with a judge using a script they found in some sketchy Facebook group? Let me know what you think, because this one is about to turn into a complete mess. So let's dive in and watch Judge Perkins give this kid a hard lesson on why following the law matters. Did you send a note to the court, Mr. Lockhart?
Yes, I did.
Did not accept your offer to contract and do not agree to these proceedings. All right, so what do you want to do?
I'm here under threat, duress, and coercion. I'd like to say for the record, my name is Jamil of the family Lockhart.
Let's get the record established. This is the city of Detroit versus Jamel Amir Lockhart. Appearance for the record, please, Counselor.
Rita White, House Counsel, on behalf of Mr. Jamil Lockhart.
All right, Mr. Lockhart.
No one is representing me on my behalf. I don't know that.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Lockhart.
Yeah, so I am Jamil of the family Lockhart, flesh and blood, living man, and attorney in fact for Jamil Lockhart and Legis Trust. I'm here by threat, duress, and coercion. I'm here making a special appearance. And I'm here to demand that the court prove jurisdiction over me as a live flesh and blood man. As I said, I submitted a challenge to jurisdiction. Jurisdiction must be proven and proven on the record. And then also I submitted Freedom of Information Act request for your foreign registration statement and anti-bribery statement, as well as that of prosecutor. There is no contract. Every presentment that was made to me was formally rejected and sent back to the court, which is what you have a copy of, by my notary. I do have a live witness notary who can come in and testify to that fact. Given that there is no commercial contract, no commercial agreement, I fail to see how the court has jurisdiction. Furthermore, there's been no injured party, and no, there's been failure to state a claim through a verified affidavit. So if someone can prove to me how this statutory commercial court has some kind of jurisdiction over me as a live flesh and blood human being, I think we could start there.
Well, let's start here. You have a notice is not what you think notice should be. Notice is what is if it's properly effectuated in the courtroom. And I'll certainly give you whatever hearing that you want if you file the proper motions and material to contest that. I'll give you an opportunity to be heard on that. But furthermore, what I'm looking at is I have a proof of service.
There is no proof of service that was rejected and sent back to the court. You have a copy of that.
You're not even listening. You're not even gonna listen. I listen to what you said. Are you gonna listen to me?
I am listening to you. I'm just responding to you.
All right. So why don't you listen before you start making statements?
Oh, you had paused. I thought you were finished.
What it isn't.
Man, it's one thing to be a sovereign citizen and try to win your case by acting completely foolish, but it's a whole different level of delusion to think you're going to succeed by being rude and disrespectful. Like, seriously, Judge Perkins is sitting right there with the authority to decide your future, and you honestly thought acting like a spoiled brat was the smart play. This whole scenario is basically like going to a job interview and insulting the boss's haircut and expecting a promotion. This guy is straight up speedrunning his way to jail with absolutely zero self-awareness, and I can't help but wonder if he thinks he's in some kind of video game where disrespect unlocks special privileges, because spoiler alert, it definitely does not.
An envelope with certified mail. I don't know what I believe the contents have been stapled to the envelope. It's got a proof of service effectuated by Nyla Perrin. I have a signed complaint here, signed by Officer Randy Randolph on 11/19/2019.
Is he here today?
And we can get him in here. Today is only date and time is set for arraignment. So you're just being arraigned, and what the arraignment purposes of your arraignment, and let's go through the whole thing, is you're here for a expired plate ticket. That is a civil infraction that carries a $145 fine. There's an allegation that you did not have a drove while license not valid or improper. That is a misdemeanor offense, punishable by 93 days in at the maximum by 93 days in jail and or $500 in fine. On the same date and time, it was an allegation that you did not provide proper insurance. That is a misdemeanor, as it's written here, and that is punishable by the maximum possible penalty of 93 days in jail and or $500 in fines. There's also a warrant for your arrest for an allegation of an improper, not valid driver's license. So today is the date and time set for arraignment. You have the option of pleading guilty, not guilty, or standing mute. If you stand mute, I'll enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. What would you like to do, sir?
I am here under threat, duress, and coercion to demand
You're not here under threat, duress, or
prove some kind of jurisdiction. And until jurisdiction has been proven, we can go no further. I would also like to ask you, is this proceeding taking place under common law?
This proceeding is taking place in accordance to the court rules and the statutory laws of the state of Michigan.
So I am not a creature of statute. I am not under statutory law. I would demand that this proceeding take place under common law, as I am a live flesh and blood human being, under no authority but that of God.
All right. I'm not going to go back and forth. I'm going to give you another court date. I don't have any all
I need you to do is prove jurisdiction.
You don't tell me what you need me to do, sir. Don't do that. Just let me finish.
With all due respect, the court must prove jurisdiction.
I understand that. We can get this over with quicker rather than later if you let me do my job. What I was trying to say, you're making your claim and stating your case that the court doesn't have jurisdiction over you. In order for me to properly review that and go, it's got to be done according to the court rules. I need a motion, and I will read that motion.
I have submitted a motion to dismiss for lack of subject matter jurisdiction.
I don't have it. I don't have it in front of me. And then I'll give you a motion.
I have a timestamped copy of it if you'd like me to show you.
All right, you got to submit it to the court. Look at the.
It was filed by the clerk just 2 days ago.
Okay,
I have a timestamped copy of it.
It hasn't got to the file. I'm going to give you another pretrial date.
I would like to say I do not consent. The court has to prove jurisdiction. I filed that document a few days ago. Anything short of that is an admission.
I swear I can't stand it when these sovereign citizens start yelling about how the court has no jurisdiction. Like, bro, do you really think saying it out loud suddenly makes it true? That's not how any of this works, and I don't know if you guys know this, but you actually have to prove it. You have to file a motion, present evidence, or do literally anything other than just running your mouth. But instead they'd rather waste everyone's time arguing with the judge as if that's magically going to make the case disappear, and I'm pretty sure this dude is just trying to stall and drag things out hoping it eventually gets dismissed. But don't go anywhere, guys, because if you thought that was bad, just wait, since this clown actually came back for round 2, that's right, Judge Perkins made him wait until the very end of the docket, so let's dive back in and see how much worse he managed to make things for himself. And also let me know what you thought about the first part of this hearing. 2.
Okay, you're still, did you have a question, sir?
None other than just stating that I do not consent to these proceedings, and I do not accept any contract.
You've already put that on the record.
Good.
You came back in.
I would also like to ask why this Mrs. Rita White had claimed to represent me.
All right, let's go back on the record with Mr. Jamil Lockhart. How old are you, sir?
I am 27.
You're 27 years old, and you go ahead and you ask why Miss White is here to represent you. Well, first and foremost,
Why did she claim to represent me and I have no knowledge?
I'll explain to you. First and foremost, she's the House counsel for this evening. So for this afternoon, she represents anybody who wants her representation as far as helping them to navigate and to defend themselves.
I have never expressed that want to her.
Why do you talk over people?
Well, I assume we were having a conversation. I'm sorry. I'll be quiet.
I am trying to have a conversation, but one's got to talk and one's got to listen.
Okay, go ahead.
You asked why Miss White said she represented you. Miss White said she represented you because she didn't know beforehand the position that you were going to take. So she's just merely
quite an
doing
assumption.
her job.
That is quite an assumption. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, by the name that you put up on there, Jamil of the family Lockhart,
That is
I wasn't surprised I wasn't surprised the avenue that you were going to take on that. Just by the name.
You recognize where I'm going.
But she's not going to assume. I don't believe she's going to assume that she's going to treat you any differently than anyone else. And then you said that you didn't want her representation, and she.
Wouldn't you agree that for future reference, it might be better to ascertain that kind of information before she makes that kind of statement for everybody?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
So the assumption is that everyone wants her to speak on their behalf.
Yes, until
is that not a rash assumption?
Until they say differently, like you did.
Okay. Well, again, this whole time, there's a motion before the court to dismiss for lack of subject matter jurisdiction.
Well, there's not a motion.
There has been what has been filed. I have a timestamp copy of it. I can show you that if you need to see it. But
okay,
your clerk
let me
timestamp to file that document.
Let me explain to you. And this is just for your information. You say that you filed it with the court and the clerk down at the window, and I wouldn't disagree with that. But typically you want to, when you do your filings, that's why you want to have a judge's copy, and you want to specifically have that copy hand delivered to the judge's chambers. So we don't rely on the court clerks downstairs at the windows to make sure that these files get put into the proper place. You're not going to make.
Who do you rely on for that?
You're making, and then because you don't want to make that assumption that that file is going to get into the correct file. You don't want to make that assumption. Would you agree?
Who do you rely on to make sure that filed documents get into the right place? Get into
the person that's filing it, yourself.
So it is not, you're telling me it's not the duty of the clerk to ensure that documents are filed?
The law is actually pretty simple, because if you want to file a motion in Michigan, you have to do it the correct way, which means writing it properly, following the court's formatting rules, filing it with the right court, and most importantly serving a copy to the other party, something I'm almost certain this guy didn't do. Since you don't just drop paperwork at the clerk's office and expect them to handle everything like a personal secretary, and once you submit a motion you usually have to pay a filing fee and, if required, schedule a hearing, but if you fail to follow these steps your motion basically doesn't exist, which is exactly why Judge Perkins is right here, because the court isn't there to fix your mistakes and it's your responsibility to make sure everything is filed correctly. And honestly, if you can't figure that out, then maybe you should just hire a lawyer instead of wasting everyone's time. Because it really isn't that hard.
By a notary. So I do have a live witness to attest to that fact. It has also been time-stamped. That was recorded as well. I have checked all my boxes when it comes to notifying the court. I've also given you a demand for your Freedom of Information Act request for your foreign registration statement and your anti-bribery statement. The idea or the fact that you do not have that is an issue. and it would mean that you are committing a crime against me and holding this statutory proceeding and trying to confuse me as a live flesh and blood man, that I am a corporation beholden to the corporation which you represent. And that is my main point here today, is to tell you that I am not under your jurisdiction. I am a live flesh and blood man. You've already stated that this is not a common law proceeding. I am under no law but common law. We have no commercial contract which would enter us into any kind of statutory law.
Okay.
So
Sir,
I failed to
let me
see
stop.
the
Let me
issue.
stop you.
And there's
Let me-
also
let me
no
stop you,
verified complaint with a
Let me stop you,
signed
sir.
affidavit.
Sir, let me stop you. And I'll let you put that on the record. I'll let you put it on the record already. We've already done those things. So, I'm gonna end it.
What you're
I'm gonna
committing
end-
here is a fraud against the people.
Okay,
That's
I'm
what
gonna
you're
end-
participating in.
okay. Whatever your position
And
is.
without your foreign registration statement, that's an admission that you are here as a criminal actor.
Okay, sir, I'm gonna end the hearing now.
And I do not consent to
And I'm
any
gonna
further
remove
hearings on this issue or this matter. We have no valid contract. We failed to prove jurisdiction. There is no valid claim.
All right, you've
I do
already
not
said
consent.
that, sir. I've already let you make a record, and I don't want you to mention any more because I'm gonna hold you in contempt of court, okay? So I'll let you make your record.
You
I set a
can
date.
do whatever
March
you feel
20th.
like you need to do. I'm here
I
to
set a
tell
date
you
of
that
March
I am not
25th.
under.
This one was an absolute mess, and you could tell the entire time that this guy genuinely thought he was outsmarting Judge Perkins, when in reality he was just making himself look like a complete fool, because the level of confidence he had was honestly unreal. Like, bro, you are not some legal mastermind cracking the justice system, you're just embarrassing yourself in front of a judge who does this for a living. And what's really wild is that the guy actually sounds pretty intelligent, which makes you wonder how someone like this can fall for sovereign citizen nonsense so easily, especially since he's young and speaks smoothly, because it's basically like watching someone with a full plate of food starve just because they refuse to pick up a fork. But to be fair, I've got to give credit where it's due, because Judge Perkins handled this kid really well. He didn't take the bait, didn't lose his patience, and just let the guy dig his own grave with every dumb argument he made, which is exactly how court works, since there are real laws and procedures you have to follow, and you can't just show up, declare yourself above the law, and expect it to work, even though sovereign citizens always think they've discovered some secret legal loophole, when in reality they're just running headfirst into a wall over and over again while the judge watches. But yeah, overall this was honestly pretty entertaining to watch, even though the secondhand embarrassment was off the charts. So let me know what you thought about this case, whether you think Judge Perkins should have been harsher or handled it just right. And if you enjoyed this, make sure to like and subscribe for more content like this, since I post every single day, and definitely drop your thoughts in the comments because I love reading them. Thank you guys so much for watching and commenting, and take care everybody.